This is the first video for simplifying expressions. In this video, we will talk about combining like terms. If you were to add 4 2 times, that's the same as 2 times 4. And that could be simplified as 8. So if you were to add A 2 times, that's the same as 2 times A. Well, you can't simplify this because you don't know what A actually equals, so we just leave it as 2A. You don't have to put the times sign in between them. No times sign is needed between the 2 and the A. So if you were to add 5 3 different times, that would be the same as 3 times 5. So if you add a letter like B, your variable 3 times, that's the exact same thing as 3 times B, which we just write as 3B. So notice the coefficients of the B's before adding were all 1. And so this is like 1 plus 2 plus 3. Sorry, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 more makes 3. So down here, if I were to add 3 4 separate times, that's the same as 4 times 3, which could be simplified as 12. And so over here, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, this is a total of 4 C's. You could write it out as 4C. So if I have 2D, I know that's the same as D plus D. And if I have 3D, that's the same as D plus D plus D. So if I'm adding these 2Ds plus these 3Ds, I have a total of 5D. Next, I have 3F plus 4F. 3F is the same as F plus F plus F. 4F is the same as F plus F plus F plus F. So if I have 3Fs plus 4Fs, that is a total of 7Fs. Notice all you're doing is just combining the F's by adding your coefficients, the 3 and the 4. So the shortcut, instead of writing out all of these G's, right, we can just say, hey, 4G plus 2G makes 6. And then adding 3 more is going to give us 9G. Over here, this is 3H plus 1H. So 3H plus 1H plus 2H. Well, 3 plus 1 is 4. And then add 2 more, we get 6H. Sometimes you might have subtraction. Notice it now says minus. So if I have 4 J's, J plus J plus J plus J, and then one of those J's is negative, well then it's going to cancel one of them out. How many are remaining? 4J minus 1J is going to give us 3 J's. So if I have 6K minus 2K, all I do is change the coefficient to 4. Over here, I've got 3m minus 5m. Now remember your integers. If you're at a positive 3 and I subtract 5, I'm going to end up on the other side of 0. That's going to be a negative 2m. Same thing with this next example. 6n minus 10n. If I'm at positive 6 and I subtract 10, I'm going to end up on the opposite side of 0. So you could change this to a 10 minus 6, which gives you 4. So you know it's going to be a negative 4. So we get negative 4n. Next, we've got negative 3p minus 2p. So you're trying to do negative 3, take away 2. So it's going to get a further away from 0. Negative 3, take away 2 more. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I know we are at negative 5. So this is a negative 5p. Number 16. Notice we have 4 Q's But next, these are S's. I have 2 S's, and then I've got 3 more Q's. And so we can only combine like terms. I can combine my 4 Q's with the other 3 Q's, which is 7 Q's, but I cannot combine those with the 2 S's. The 2 S's have to stay separate. 7Q plus 2S. So what I would recommend you do is make sure you underline or somehow identify what your like terms are. So here I see I have 3S and 5S. Those are what I'm going to combine. These 5 S's are positive. These 3 S's are also positive. Those combine to make 8 S's. This little negative right here only applies to the 2T. So that 2T is still negative. Over here, notice I've got a negative 3T and a positive 7T. I'm going to switch that order around. Do 7 minus 3. I know I have 4 T's. And the remaining term is a positive 3U. Notice I'm putting the T before the U because I want this to be in standard form. In standard form, your variables, if different, are in alphabetical order. So S becomes before T in your alphabet. Over here, T is before U in your alphabet. Same up here. Q is before S in the alphabet. So this next example, I have V's twice, and then I've got a U here. Well, U comes first in the alphabet, so I'm going to write down my 2U first, and then I'm going to go ahead and combine the V's. This is a positive 6V. This is a negative 1V, so 6 minus 1 is a positive 5V. So this is 2U plus 5V. Last, number 20. V comes before W, so I'm going to combine my V's first. I'm going to switch the order around, 3V minus 2V. That way I can do 3 minus 2, which is 1V, and then my 8W does not change, minus 8W. So here are the steps that I want you to follow when combining like terms. As you saw I was doing, I was identifying my like terms by underlining, or you can circle them. Sometimes I underline once for one like term and then twice for a different like term. And then a third like term, I could use 3 underlines. Then you combine your like terms by changing the coefficient, right? And you change that coefficient depending if you're adding or subtracting. Make sure you have your answers in standard form. So I would recommend you combine the largest exponents first. That way they're all in descending order. Right? Your x squared is before your x, which is before your constant. Okay? And then we also talked about alphabetical order. So if you have different variables, A is before B, which is before C, which is before D. Okay? So why don't you try these 2 examples right now? Follow the steps and try these 2 examples. Do these 2 problems now. Pause the video and do these now on your own. Did you do them yet? Did you pause? Did you do them? All right, so let's say you did them. Let's see how you did. X is before Y in the alphabet, so I'm going to combine 7x minus 2x, which is 5x. And then next is our positive 4y. 5x plus 4y. The next example, make sure you do your y first. Y is before z in the alphabet, negative 3y does not change. And your 5z and 3z, they're both positive, so they combine to make 8z. So now, here are some practice problems for you to do. Do these, and then check back with the next video to see how you did.